This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org. Activism in the 21st century takes many forms. For Minnesota Chippewa artist Rory Wakeup, it's Funktivism. He uses humor, satire, and regalia to challenge social and environmental injustice. Smart Wars is Wakeup's latest solo exhibition. It's a bold mix of Indigenous heritage with modern commentary. Through his multimedia art, Wakeup challenges perceptions and sparks conversations about Native resilience, climate action, and truth-telling. See Smart Wars at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis, February 27th through April 12th. Details at allmyrelationsarts.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Willia. Rain expected tonight with a low of 37, then Wednesday cloudy with a high of 46. While Maverick's Real Roast Beef is known for their namesake sandwiches, don't miss out on all the other great selections like crispy chicken, brisket, and fish. Mavericks is located in Roseville on Lexington Avenue, a mile south of Highway 36. Visit their website at mavericksbeef.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. And this portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, I just want to introduce myself in a good way. And I don't know, Haley, if you want it too, but I'm going to do it too. I'm just going to say, Ahu, hey, Ho-Chunk Raja, Wakuncha Hade, Hinga Dana. I just said my name's, I'm Ho-Chunk and my name's Distant Thunder.
Oh, I love that, Dega. That was very cool. Yeah, hi everyone. Hey nan, Shekarigi we, Ho-Chunk Raja, Chasha Pe Wangawe Ning King Day. And yeah, I say greetings to you all. My Ho-Chunk name, or that they call me, is Little Eagle Princess.
Yes, and underline the princess.
Oh, yeah.
At least that's what I hear. Hey, so we got a big show going on today. We have Ruth Anna Buffalo coming on in a little bit. And then we have, who else do we have here?
Yeah, we got Deacon DeBoer coming back on, who is with the Minnesota Historical Society and Native American Initiatives. Going to be subbing in for our friend Rita Walzek-Arndt, who is in New York, one of your favorite places, Robert.
Absolutely. Have you been to New York?
Just once. It was for like a quick 24-hour trip, and we did most of the sightseeing. Yeah, all in that 24 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we went to the top of the Empire State Building, where you get to go outside and they have the big fence up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've been there a couple
pretty
times.
windy.
Been there a couple times. I love it up there. Yeah, that's cool as heck. Hey, I sent you something that I'm trying to find it right now real quick here. I sent you something, must have been through, yeah, there it is. It was crazy. I did see our Red Lake president speak on behalf of his nation, and it was great. I saw Samantha Skinador in the background, who's Ho-Chunk, and her brother is president of Ho-Chunk Nation, and she's a big time lawyer. And Sam Strong's there in Washington. I saw a picture of Sam Strong and Tina uh, and the president of Red Lake up there testifying and really speaking the truth. It was good to see.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for being out there in Washington and providing a seat at the table for us in our community.
Speaking of Washington, Ruth Anna Buffalo, who's how do you say, she is known in Washington and has friends in Washington, so it's a good segue. Ruth Anna Buffalo, welcome to Native Roots Radio.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Well, we can. Oh, there she is. Hey, Ruth.
Oh,
Hi.
wow!
Hey,
Hey.
Ruth Anna.
Oh, not. Oh, now you're. Oh, there you are. Hey, welcome.
Hi.
Well, we were only knowing because yesterday we had a kind of a gaffe going on, so we thought maybe that was happening again. We didn't know that you were busy working and jumping in on this. We appreciate you, Ruth Anna Buffalo, President and CEO of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. Thank you so much for coming on. And looks like you got new glasses. Very cool.
Thank you. Yep, new glasses.
Right on. Hey, lot going on. What's going on? Maybe we can talk a little bit quick about what
Sure.
what are things going on at Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center.
Sure. Today we just hosted our first Resource Connect. It'll be every Tuesdays from 9 to 3 in the community room. This is, again, assisting with the community-led efforts for our unsheltered and getting connected to resources, including housing. So that'll be every Tuesday, 9 to 3 in the community room at MIWRC. We're calling it Resource Connect. There will be meals provided as well, breakfast and lunch. And so that was today. First one, and then it'll be every Tuesday. And then let's see, we have Thursday, the Eagle Feather case making event that has been highly anticipated. That's Thursday. Registration is full. And then that is being in partnership with Juanita. And then on Friday, we have a couple different events. We have our family night in the evening, and then in the afternoon, we have our Native survivor support group. That's pretty awesome. Both events are pretty amazing, have a meal provided. And then on Monday, we have our monthly caregiver support group, which is mainly grandmas that show up, grandmas taking care of their grandchildren. And that is Monday in the community room from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., I believe.
Oh.
And so, yeah, that's kind of some of the things happening right now.
Just cool to hear that there's an organization that's been around for 40 years. It's been doing this for the community this long. It's just so great for us to be able to amplify that and know about what's going on too, because I'd like to get one of those little make one of those little things for all the eagle feathers I have here. Oh,
Yeah, for sure. It's a popular event. We also have a medicine bag making on deck for next month. So there's lots of different events, regular scheduled programming with some new program, new programming on the way as well. So be on the lookout for some new programming in partnership with our community members. So yeah, just really wanting to uplift and amplify amazing community workers, community members who have been doing the work, all along, and we're just here to help continue strengthen the partnership.
Yeah, that you are doing. And I see there's a picture of, looks like somebody in the background basketball. I'm wondering, are you able to get out and take some shots during, we talked about that last week, to get the blood flowing and things like that? Free throws?
Yes, for sure. I had one of my old independent ball buddies. She used to play rugby for KU. Yosh, she's a trio director at Haskell Indian Nations University. We used to play on some traveling teams together, but she reached out the other day and was like, so, first of all, like thanked me for like reaching out and checking on her during last week's news of all the layoffs and things. And so she first thanked me for that, and then was like, so you've been playing any ball lately? And so I'm like, yeah, first time in like 10 years since I was last in Kansas, but yeah, my son has a game tonight. He's a high school senior. He's playing in Rogers, so we're going to be heading up there. And then really thankful for the different community-led efforts here in the Twin Cities area with the Red Bears. Our twins are a part of the 11U team, and so they practice. They have practice when they can. They attend the practices because they are also committed prior commitments with the team here in the area that we reside in. But yeah, we were at the park board last Wednesday to show support for the Red Bear team. And there's going to be more support needed for a future park board meeting on March 5th. So if you can continue to show up and support the Red Bear team, they do such amazing work. And it really is important to have, the Red Bear team stay together. We've seen the impacts that it has on our Native youth, even on our twins. Our twins have improved a great deal in their basketball game and are more connected to the Native community, have made friends and gone to their friends' houses, or other college basketball games as a result of being a part of the Red Bear team. So it's just a really amazing thing, and it's not unfamiliar to us in Indian country, but out here and off the res in the urban cities, it's needed even more so. So Madzigidads, thank you.
Hey, we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the next segment. I'd like to dig a little deeper on that, Ruth Anna, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
Excellent. Hey, right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. I'm Awake, and I'm here with Haley and Ruth Anna Buffalo, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
In a galaxy not so far away, the battle for truth rages on. Smart Wars is a solo exhibition by Rory Wakemup, a Minnesota Chippewa artist who flips the script on Star Wars using humor and regalia. Wakemup challenges colonial narratives and reclaims indigenous values of balance, resilience, and environmental activism. This exhibition runs February 27th through April 5th at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. More information at allmyrelationsarts.org.
Do you have a vehicle you no longer need? Are you a little cash strapped? Rudy Luther Toyota will pay you for your used vehicle. It's really simple. Head to rudyluthertoyota.com, answer a few simple questions, and Rudy Luther Toyota will get you an instant offer. Then they will set up an appointment, and after a quick verification, they will handle all the paperwork and coordinate getting you your check. It's that simple. It's a fast way for you to get rid of the vehicle you no longer need, putting money in your hands. For more information, head to rudyluthertoyota.com. That's rudyluthertoyota.com.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Did you know that the Walker has a cinema that shows film almost every week? From artist talks, genre-defined performances, and world premieres to archival shorts and experimental soundscapes, the Walker Cinema explores all modes of global and local filmmaking. Get your first ticket for free. Visit walkerart.org/cinema to learn more. See you at the movies. walkerart.org/cinema to learn more. Native history in Minnesota is diverse and rich. Indigenous people have dwelled here for thousands of years and continue to live here today. Our home, Native Minnesota, at the Minnesota History Center, shares the history and contemporary stories of the region's Native peoples. Now on display, the mask designed by Milwaukee, Dakota artist Cole Redhorse Taylor and worn by Minnesota Wild goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury. Visit the Minnesota History Center to hear stories of resilience, adaptation, and survival.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, we are here with our friend Ruth Anna Buffalo, who's president and CEO of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. And we were talking at the end of the last segment a little bit about the basketball situation here in the Parks and Recs board, and we need to support our young ones. Can you tell our audience basically what's going on?
Yeah, the park board, Minneapolis Park Board, is changing the registration guidelines, criteria to where the Red Bear team cannot stay together, and there's other teams too. So it's, as they say that term, BIPOC or Black and Indigenous people of color are being impacted. So there's groups up on the north side of Minneapolis who strongly oppose this as well. And there's been a lot of media coverage on it. Like in the Star Tribune and the Minneapolis Park Board has been quoted as saying like there's no basically translation of like no disenfranchisement is happening here of communities of color, and that their streamlining of this process is not disadvantageous to anybody, but it really is just kind of a repeat, of unfortunately poor policies and bad behavior that is not helpful to our communities.
So they're mixing all the teams up. So in other words, the neighborhood teams or all Native team or all African American team has to be split up and be put on another team. And then
Right.
So you're not
Yeah.
with your friends or your community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even like coaching, you can be put with a different coach, and I have some opinions on that too, where a lot of our there's just a difference with coaching, coaching when you're under a Native coach who looks like one of your brothers or uncles. There's just a difference of unconditional love that really is missing in other communities where it's just additional barrier. And so I've witnessed the love and care and attention that the Red Bear team, the coaching staff provides to their youth, and it's really invaluable. It's just an amazing, it's a protective factor. We talk about risk factors and all of the different areas that impact our Native youth. And there's so much strength and love in the approach that the Red Bears bring to the table. And I'm really proud to have our twins a part of the Red Bear team, even if it's just brand new right now in this moment. But it's things that we've already known and that we've experienced throughout our lifetime of, these things work. That's why it's a great deal of healing. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to play on a women's basketball team that's all Native, and just the love and care, that we give one another, or just the humor, or the baseline understanding of the struggles and the things that we encounter on a daily basis as moms or as women being Native, and then in the Twin Cities urban area. It's a good, huge support system and a huge piece of community, I believe.
Oh, well said. What is their pushback, that it's easier to put these teams together, or is it
Yeah,
cheaper? Or
I believe so. It just sounds like streamlining and having it be more centralized, like a management thing, a management decision. But I mean, even if it's like a inconvenience for them, like for a few people, why make it a huge inconvenience for entire populations? Where, I mean, loud and clear, that meeting last Wednesday, one of the speakers from North Minneapolis asked, those of you who oppose this, please stand up, and the whole room stood up. I mean? So there's like loud and clear people who are against this, but so we're hoping, the Minneapolis Park Board does the right thing, especially for our youth. Our youth need all the love and attention and care that they deserve, especially in today's day and age, for sure.
Absolutely. So it's almost again a thing that I always talk about is erasure, and coming and melting us in and not respecting our indigeny, if that's a word.
Agree. And I just think back to like certain times throughout my lifetime where I've experienced things. I mean, even being on like a college basketball team where, one of my friends, teammates and we joked a lot, laughed a lot. We were native, but the coach chose to like split us up. I mean, it's just kind of like, I don't know if people are aware of of their behavior, those blind spots of like trying to, can't think of the word right now, but you kind of get what I'm saying, where it's just,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's uncalled for, and I just think it's like kind of like, what are they afraid of? What are they scared of? Why not be proud of keeping, supporting, teams that want to be together? Let them stay together. If it's working, leave it. It just seems
Oh,
like there's a big disconnect for sure. But I'm new
yeah,
here,
especially
so that's my disclaimer.
well, especially when the person asked everyone to stand up. I see
Mhm.
your cat wants to get in, and maybe we can do a sacred animal portion too.
Yeah, it's my daughter's cat. She's super clingy.
Aw.
Yeah, Panda. It's her name. She's
Wow.
very
Wow.
mushy.
People that aren't watching this on Facebook or YouTube or Blue Sky, you're missing out. That's a cute cat. Yeah, we used well, good on you and good on the people that are standing because anyone that, the old saying that I grew up with is people who stand for nothing will fall for anything, and I'm good on you for being there and the other people in the community and hopefully the Minneapolis Parks and Recs Board will hear this. I heard whispers about this with my work with the Met Council, and there's a friend of mine that works. I don't know if she's a liaison for the Minneapolis Park Board, but she told me about this coming up, and it's just hard to understand where they're coming from and what their thought process is about this because again, it's good to be with community, and it's also really good for community to beat other communities in basketball.
Right, and
The
and
rivalry is part of it.
the Red Bears team, their team they're really good. They're talented too. They have a strong, I would say, tradition of really getting some talented kids out of their program. So it's and hearing the stories too, last Wednesday the women were sharing with me how the team came to be, and the stories behind it, are just really um, heartfelt and significant to what we experience throughout Indian country, and how basketball is a healthy outlet. It's a way of
Mhm.
healing. And I mean, think of like even Jim Thorpe, or, world's greatest athlete, and how he coped with being at a boarding school, and that's something that resonates with a lot of us, um, a healthy outlet when you're away from your family or away from your community. And many of us are, connected to our tribal communities, but are here in the Metro Twin Cities area, and to have that connection through basketball, it's tied to a lot of our stories too that go way back, beyond these times, so it's important, but it's just kind of sad to see the same thing be repeated in a different way, so.
Right. Well, again, good on you, and also, I know I've heard stories over the years with my uncles knowing certain people that I didn't know they knew each other, but it was through sports, through basketball, through softball that, and it's lifelong, relationships. People like me because, they knew my uncles, playing softball that, were older, and you didn't have to explain who you were.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when we were growing up, or when we were maybe at our peak as athletes, it was before the age of social media. So it's all, word of mouth basically. But yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I getting a Minnesota accent? I kind of hear it coming out. I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah, you are. Ruth.
Help, guys, help. No, I'm just kidding. But
It's a Resi Minnesota accent. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just showed up to help with the twins. I mean, and to have the twins there, and last Wednesday to see all the youth, who had signs, and we were watching it on YouTube, the park board meeting from last week, and I heard little kids yelling at the end, and just to hear them just was like, oh my gosh, just got me choked up. So it's for the kids, just being a good relative. Being a mom, showing up and wanting to see something good, and you want your kids to still be a part of it, so.
Yeah, good on you. And when is the next meeting, or when are the decisions going to be made?
I believe it's March 5th, same time, I think at 5:00 at the Minneapolis Park Board, March 5th. And I believe the Metro Urban Indian Directors Group will be providing a letter of support as well.
So is that when they're making
the
the
Red
decision,
Bears.
or is that when the next meeting is?
I believe that's the next meeting, and it could potentially be when the decision is made, for sure. But I would definitely reach out to Mukwa. He's the head coach of the Red Bears, or Jolene at NACD. They got a lot of kind of spearheading those efforts of bringing community together to support the Red Bear team.
Oh, that's cool. I want to get a t-shirt too, and I'll go support them right after the show. Ruth Anna Buffalo, a big Peeny Gigi, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for being an important part of all the communities that you're in, but especially here in the Twin Cities. A big Peeny Gigi, thank you.
Lots of good odds.
We'll see you. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, Haley, and we'll be right back after the short break.
Stay with us. Hoa.
Hoa.
Activism in the 21st century takes many forms. For Minnesota Chippewa artist Rory Wakeup, it's Funktivism. He uses humor, satire, and regalia to challenge social and environmental injustice. Smart Wars is Wakeup's latest solo exhibition. It's a bold mix of Indigenous heritage with modern commentary. Through his multimedia art, Wakeup challenges perceptions and sparks conversations about Native resilience, climate action, and truth-telling. See Smart Wars at Alma Relations Arts in Minneapolis, February 27th through April 5th. Details at almarelationsarts.org.
In these challenging times under the second Trump administration, reading can be a powerful tool to manage stress and anxiety, and Next Chapter booksellers can help. Their newest table features books designed to channel anxiety into meaningful action. From Noam Chomsky to Henry David Thoreau, it's a collection that invites you to reflect, learn, and take action during chaotic times. Explore the full list of titles at nextchapterbooksellers.com. That's Next Chapter Booksellers off Snelling and Grand, here to help keep your sanity.
Are you experiencing troubles with thinking, comprehending, or speaking, have post-COVID brain fog, ADHD, concussion, tremors from Parkinson's, mental health issues, or simply striving to maximize your brain's potential? At Hypercharge Wellness Centers, we deliver transformative results for the brain. Hypercharge Wellness's brain fitness protocol utilizes cutting-edge modalities, including PEMF, red light therapy beds, and transcranial laser, which all work together to improve focus and cognitive functions. These treatments aim to improve the brain's blood flow and electrical patterns, which reduces anxiety and enhances relaxation, providing a comprehensive approach to brain health optimization. All are invited to experience this life-changing journey towards achieving the pinnacle of cognitive and emotional well-being. Call or go online to schedule your free Hypercharge Wellness introductory session, valued at $200 today. This is your opportunity to feel the difference for yourself. No matter where you are in the Twin Cities, there is a convenient location near you. Visit hyperchargeclinic.com now. That's hyperchargeclinic.com. Hypercharge is hope.
Progressive change doesn't just happen. It takes dedication and a lot of hard work. 25 years ago, the DataBank pioneered a new generation of software tools for progressive organizations here in Minnesota. Since then, thousands of organizations have used the DataBank to create progressive change. Today, the DataBank continues to help progressive organizations like AM 950. To have the DataBank help your organization build capacity and create more change, text CHANGE to 612-540-0500 or go to thedatabank.com. The DataBank, a quarter century of dedication and hard work for progressive organizations.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our local leaders. How do you reward your employees? How do you appreciate your business partners? Thousands of local organizations just like yours count on Minuteman Uptown for promotional products. We craft custom awards and plaques. We print your logo on apparel, office supplies, and thousands of other items. Minuteman Uptown helps you reward employees and stay top of mind with customers and vendors. We print everything. Contact us today at mpuptown.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Rain expected tonight with a low of 37, then Wednesday cloudy with a high of 46. While Maverick's Real Roast Beef is known for their namesake sandwiches, don't miss out on all the other great selections like crispy chicken, brisket, and fish. Mavericks is located in Roseville on Lexington Avenue, a mile south of Highway 36. Visit their website at mavericksbeef.com.
Anine, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Historical Society, preserving and sharing Minnesota's heritage for the benefit of all Minnesotans.
Yes, they do. Hey, we have our friend Deacon DeBoer here, and he is the Minnesota Historical Society Native American Initiative Program Specialist. Welcome back, Deacon. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys too. Hamitaki AP. It's really nice to see you. Yishka Wachi Akapido. Rita, kind of wrote me into this tonight in a little bit of a way. She's over there in the Big Apple. So we're in the Mini Apple, and I will do my best to talk about some MNHS updates.
Right on. Well, geez, it's great to have you back again. And can you remind listeners what your role is and where you work and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I work at the Minnesota Historical Society in the Native American Initiatives Department. We do multifaceted work within that department, as Rita has highlighted in past episodes. But for me, my work is really core to cultural resource stewardship or cultural resource management, as it's coined in some other areas. Most likely academia is where you would hear that. But cultural resource stewardship for MNHS looks like a lot of different things. For us, it's applications of traditional ecological knowledges to the landscape for our 26 different sites. We have both those 26 sites plus our partnership sites and our mound sites. Those are our priorities for our Native American Initiatives Department and our work that we do. And then other than that, we also support all of our other programs. One of our programs that's going on right now for me that I'm facilitating is the Reconnecting Our Roots Native Teen Program. So cool. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the I don't know if that is that the Museum Fellowship or is that something different?
That's a little bit different. So, very different. Two different programs. So the Native American Museum Fellowship is going to be coming up here in the summer. The priority deadline for the application is going to be March 21st. So it's actually coming up here just in less than a month. We have the flyer actually that I shared with Haley. So we can pop that out and we'll be sharing that out with local schools, universities, tribal colleges, but also communities, because we have a new portion that's being added to this session of the Native American Museum Fellowship, because you might notice that it used to be called the Native American Undergraduate Museum Fellowship, which originally, it was really key to undergrads, folks that are in the university field, rooted in academia, and wanting to get their toes into the field of museology and understand the resources of MNHS. But now, we're kind of retooling that, and we want to address our community relationships, the relationships that we have both in state and out of state, throughout the Ocheti Sakowin, Ojibwe communities, Ho-Chunk. It's really it's paramount for us to have one of those, more than one, those folks involved in this program. So that's going to be known as a community scholar going forward that will be a part of that program. So this application is not only for undergrads now, it is for all that want to be involved.
Awesome. What would they learn? Would they learn where the secret mountains are that nobody knows where they are? Or what 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 would they learn doing this program?
No. We do have a cultural resource stewardship portion that will be working with us in our archaeology department in thinking about care and stewardship in line with that traditional ecological knowledge perspective, but also from our state statutes and working in consultation with our THPOs, our tribal historical preservation officers throughout the state. So that would be an internship that'd be a part of this program. So it's a 10-week program that has internships that are rooted in what the students what they want to do. So we have a few different internships that are open, and they can check those out. But for a few examples would be the one that I just mentioned in cultural resource stewardship, but then you could also do one rooted in collections. You may be doing something along the lines of inventory work, collections management systems. You could also do library work. You could work with the archaeology department and do even more hands-on soil probing. We've had people do that in the past. You could also work with our department directly, doing research and some narrative construction, which that is a very heavily tasking thing right now with our Northern Lights textbook that's being revised, and then also our signage that's being updated at almost throughout our sites network.
Wow. Lot going on, Deacon. Jeez, that's amazing. I had no idea, really. That's amazing. So somebody that maybe is Ho-Chunk would like to know what was going on down maybe down by Mankato Way or Blue Earth Way, and what was happening there. I know there's a book that the Minnesota Historical Society just published this year, Banished, that's gotten a lot of raves and reviews and a lot of sales too. And so that's just part of what Minnesota, you guys do down there at the History Center and the Historical Center.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I need to add that book to our Native. We have an employee resource group for our Native community at MNHS, and I should add that book to our book club. We just got done reading The Serviceberry by Robin Kimmerer.
Wow. And then our friend too, Sandy Whitehawk, she just published too through you guys last year and did really well with her life story. And I know there was a documentary a few years ago called Blood Memory that she was in, and this is her whole life story, and it was really interesting read. And that if you don't have that one on there, that might be a good one too, Deacon.
Yep, these are all great ideas. I appreciate it much, Robert.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm a big picture guy, and Haley is details. Thanks, Haley.
Yeah, you're welcome. Kimmerer is also the author that wrote Braiding Sweetgrass, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really popular one too. I remember when I was taking my American Indian Study courses at the University Twin Cities, or the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, Braiding Sweetgrass was one of the books that they gave to us to read. And I still know people reading it today. I know book clubs that are introducing it. So it's a big hit, Braiding Sweetgrass.
Well, that's cool that they gave it to you, because I had to pay a lot of money for my books when I went to the U. Oh,
yeah. They gave us braided sweetgrass too with each book, so that was really cool.
That is very nice. Yeah, the reciprocal relationships that she defines really in that book. I mean, in her own opinion, but I think in a lot of our own Lifeways opinions and how we would kind of reciprocate into our own lives. That book kind of sounds off very well for us. And when I say us, as in our cultural resource stewardship division that we're trying to build up, a lot of those teachings and lessons that she gives throughout her, both the Serviceberry book and Braiding Sweetgrass, is something that, you know, we would like to add into our repertoire in terms of how we work.
Well, you know, what is the community scholars? You know, is that something different too, or how has that been added to the Native American Museum Fellowship?
As in the community scholars edition?
Yeah.
So with the community scholars, as kind of what I was trying to get at with the addition of going away from undergraduate, we are including all of community members. So before, it was really geared towards undergraduates that were in university, and it wasn't really open to community members in that right. Just to be honest, to be brutally honest, and that was something that we wanted to address this year, was changing that and making sure that we had our relatives in our community that were also wanting to be a part of this program, in a lot of internships and resources that are available, especially in building up, you know, your resume and getting into this field of work. It's not necessarily always easy, especially in the world that we live in today. There's a lot of jobs that the History Center has that are actually pretty contested and not easy to get. I mean, you should see how many people apply for the jobs at the Historical Society. It's pretty vast. So I think these Historical Society jobs, they're thinning out, and I think getting into this program is a really great opportunity for folks to also explore their own indigeneity in Minnesota Makoche as well.
Wow, really good points, Deacon. And I've been down there more than I have in recent years, and it's just amazing the programs that go on down there. I was down there for a Ho-Chunk talk. There was an author and a Ho-Chunk historian there, and it was so well attended. And it always, you know, I'm always going, well, who wants to know about this, you know, other than Ho-Chunk? But there is people are yearning to know Minnesota history, especially the Minnesota history that hasn't been taught.
And if I could add something to that, yeah, I so agree with what you're saying, because we need Native folks in these spaces. Minnesota Historical Society has, you know, historically neglected that relationship. Just in the past, you know, 25, 30 years has that begun to change. Really, since 1989, when the Indian Advisory Committee was formed, is when relationships were started and builded. I don't want to elaborate on that too much, but that is really important for us Native folks to be in these spaces.
Absolutely. Hey, Deacon, we got you for another portion here, another segment, and this is a really interesting talk. We're with Deacon DeBoer, and he's with the Minnesota Historical Society, and he's the Native American Initiative Program Specialist. And we're going to be right back. This is a really interesting talk, and I appreciate you, and we'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
Native history in Minnesota is diverse and rich. Indigenous people have dwelled here for thousands of years and continue to live here today. Our home, Native Minnesota, at the Minnesota History Center, shares the history and contemporary stories of the region's Native peoples. Now on display, the mask designed by Milwaukee, Dakota artist Cole Red Horse Taylor and worn by Minnesota Wild goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury. Visit the Minnesota History Center to hear stories of resilience, adaptation, and survival.
Minnesotans are hardy. We don't let snow or ice get in our way. We have places to go. So making sure your vehicle is in prime shape for winter driving is so important. Take your vehicle to Rudy Luther Toyota for all your service needs. I was just there. I got my oil and filters replaced, and they did a complete safety check to make sure my vehicle can tackle winter. And they service all makes and models of vehicles. Head to rudyluthertoyota.com and use their super easy Toyota service schedule to set up your service appointment today. Rudy Luther Toyota on the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so I think it's important to take the smaller steps and break it down into more manageable pieces, because the little steps leads to big changes.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. For Indigenous women, taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Let's protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts. How?
Oh! Woo.
I'm here for the wolves.
Wow, I'm here for the wolves too, but I just had a super phlegm ball shoot up out of nowhere, and that's not good when you're my age, Haley.
No.
Also, a big win last night for the Timberwolves.
Yeah. I'll have to replay that and edit it out and replay it.
Wow, geez. Hey, we are here with Deacon DeBoer, and we are having a really heavy-duty conversation. I really appreciate it. What else would you like our listeners to know?
There's a few things about reconnecting our roots right now in terms of updates on the teen program. I briefly mentioned it earlier because it is currently going on. We're in the second week, or we just got done with the second week. We'll be going into the third week here now. It's every Thursday. It runs from 4 to 8. It's a kind of an after-school program in that, right? And going forward, we're going to be going to the Bell Museum this week. Last week was all about collections, and then we went to the library and archives and introduced this. We have 7 students, and we introduced them to the History Center and really Historical Society work. As I was just saying earlier, it's really multifaceted, especially as you go throughout the Historical Society. Not only in our department do we do a bunch of different things, but throughout library, archives, collections, there's a bunch of different jobs and a bunch of different opportunities and interests. So we explored those at the History Center. We had a meal, and we played a little bit of trivia as well, or rather, I guess, we went on went to the exhibits and answered some questions. We had some hard questions for them as they went around, and after that, we gave them some gifts. So it was a really great night. But going forward, we're going to go to the Bell Museum. We actually have a planetarium show with Dekshi Jim Rock that he's prepared with the Bell there. It's going to be something new that I think a lot of people should look forward to going forward. I know they have an Ojibwe planetarium show as well. So I guess a little plug there for about Bell Museum that I don't know too much about, but looking forward to how they explore that going forward. And we'll also be viewing their exhibits and collections. And then we'll also be going to the James J. Hill House, which a lot of people are kind of like, why would you bring you're reconnecting our roots group to James J. Hill House, which that's really core to talking about the narratives that live there in terms of hypercapitalism versus a gift economy. And we also are going to have Madge Ducheneau come and do storytelling, and Fern Cloud come and do a hide painting workshop. So we're really excited for that night. And we'll also be going to the Mill City Museum. And you might wonder why the Mill City Museum. One is they have a kitchen, because we're going to be doing a food sovereignty demo with Derek Nicholas of Wiesenig. And then also, I really like that spot because of its presence towards Awamity Omni. And there's a lot of story there that we can touch on for those students. And when we talk about reconnecting our roots, this is a program geared towards students that are really searching and finding their own identity and indigeneity in Minnesota Makoche, as I mentioned earlier. So it's a program that has a lot of opportunities as well.
It does. It was interesting. I was saying that I was down there last week, and our relatives, Haley, have been always asking me when I go to the Minnesota Historical Society, where there's recordings of Helen and Howard McKee Jr. down there. And I keep on asking about that. And lo and behold, about a year ago, somebody said they found those recordings. So there's things that the Minnesota Historical Society has that they don't even know sometimes, and it's really cool because our history has been recorded in so many different ways and so many different facets, and it's just really I love history, so it's really cool for me to go down there and talk about that or ask about that.
Yeah, that's one thing too. I think the last time we had Rita on with us, she was talking about the different things that the History Center offered for Natives to kind of reconnect with their family. And I think she mentioned the Ancestry DNA was kind of a free resource that people could come and use to track down family members. Is that true?
Yeah, at our Gale Family or the Gale Family Library. I think the full title is Gale Family Research Library. But we both have a microfilm area or lab, and you can view all of the microfilm that we have, which is almost all the newspapers that you could think of in Minnesota. And then as far as ancestry goes and genealogy research, great resources for free, which you would normally have to pay for ancestry outside of the Gale Family Library, but you do have to be on site at the History Center to be using that. But you can build, your family tree over time. So it's a really great resource.
Wow, Haley, that's awesome.
I know.
Bring that
I
up
made sure
again.
to remember that. I was like, that's a huge resource for people.
And Haley, we always talk about too that Thursday nights is party night down at the Minnesota History Center too, right, Deacon?
I was just gonna say that. Thursday nights are late nights, open till 8, and our librarians are really great. Just want to give them a shout out that I don't think our library is open till 8, so our exhibits are, but
okay,
yeah,
cool. And then it's free that day too, isn't it?
It is free, indeed.
Yes, I can afford that. Hey, Manny White Eagle. Hey, he used to work down there too. Ho Chunk representing there, Manny.
Oh, Manny.
Cool. Well, before we let you go, how can people get a hold of you or get a hold of the Minnesota Historical Society? Is there a Facebook, a website, or let our people know before we let you go?
You can either reach out to us and find us on Instagram at MNHS.info, or you can also find our NAI page at Native American Initiatives on both Facebook and Instagram. And then we have a department page at MNHS.com. MNHS.com/Native American Initiatives, I believe, is what the department page is. I might be wrong on that, but Rita can get on me for that.
Right, Haley. I think it's .org for organization, right?
Yeah, MNHS.org/NAI.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
I should
Deacon,
have known that.
thank you, Big Peeny Gigi. Thank you for coming on and speaking your truth and doing all this great work and putting up with me. I really appreciate it. And have a great day. And we'll see you at the Minnesota Historical Society.
Opida Tonka, thanks for having me. And yeah, thanks for dealing with my rambling as well. I can really talk.
That's good. That's good. That makes a good radio show, Deacon. Thank you.
Peeny Geeky Deacon.
Yeah, right on. Wow.
Have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. Wow, that was awesome, Haley. A good question. I forgot about that. That's really good information. It's always great to have somebody from down there. And I say down there because I'm, close to Minneapolis, so I looking down towards St. Paul.
Yeah. Well, the Minnesota History Center is, I believe, off Kellogg in St. Paul. So look that up on your GPS.
That's right. That's right. Hey, great show, great producer. If you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance from Chief Plenty Coops. The ground on which we stand on is sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, and vote. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.